What is youth? A dream. What is love? The dream's content. In old age, we all regret not having killed laziness in ourselves. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. To be lost in spiritlessness is the most terrible thing of all. We were given the commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. But if this commandment is correctly understood, then you can read in it the opposite statement. You must love yourself properly. We pretend to be unable to understand life because we know very well that the minute we understand, we are obliged to act accordingly. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. It is better to get lost in the passion than to lose the passion. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but, if one will, are to be lived. I would rather be a swineherd, understood by the swine, than a poet misunderstood by men. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. Happiness resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul. A fool is known by his speech, and a wise man by silence. Let him that would move the world first move himself. In childhood, be modest. In youth, temperate. In adulthood, just. And in old age, prudent. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. The question is not to be or not to be. It is what we should be until we are not. The truth is a trap. You cannot get it without it getting you. You cannot get the truth by capturing it, only by its capturing you. Leap of faith. Yes, but only after reflection. The unhappy person is never present to themselves because they always live in the past or the future. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. Far from the idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. Confidence is the present tense of hope. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Necessity is the strongest of things, for it rules everything. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. For the hardest victory is over self It is very important in life to know when your cue comes. My sorrow is my castle. A no does not hide anything, but a yes very easily becomes a deception. On the secretly blushing cheek is reflected the glow of the heart. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. Cultivate the will. This is the armor that preserves the mind. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. The more people who believe something, the more apt it is to be wrong. The person who's right often has to stand alone. Once you are born in this world, you're old enough to die. Hope is a passion for the possible. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Steel your sensibilities so that life shall hurt you as little as possible. Thou shouldst eat to live, not live to eat. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. Whatever they think of you, do what you think is fair. Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow, even if that someone is yourself. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool because he has to say something. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? Do it or don't do it. You will regret both. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. It is better to try something and fail than to try nothing and succeed. The result may be the same, but you won't be. We always grow more through defeats than victories. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Knowledge is a wealth that cannot be stolen. Once you label me, you negate me. To dare, to lose one's footing momentarily, not to dare, is to lose oneself. Take a chance, and you may lose. Take not a chance, and you have lost already. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. Man always hopes for what he should remember, and forever remembers what he should hope for. It is so hard to believe, because it is so hard to obey. The door to happiness opens outward. Be that self that one is. Faith begins precisely where thinking leaves off. The best response to criticism is to smile and forget. Our life is a game of whose rules we don't know. For it is not what happens to me that makes me great, but it is what I do. The highest, after all, is not to comprehend the highest, but to do it. If you don't have many friends, that means you have a lot of life experience. The more silent you are, the more you are able to hear.